So I won Leeds shirt, literally, within 5 minutes of my hotel. Beautiful, Shawnee. I'm moving down south, mate. Up the north.
Ah, I remember what it like when we came last time, though.
Decent, isn't it? Do you mind putting that ball or two? This boy's gonna move in. Blue, I'll leave it by the side, yeah? Hey, nice and simple today, boys. Come on. Let's boss it. Come on. Come on, Macaz.
Yeah, same with you. Stewie and Harvey.
Come on, boys. Come on. Hey, come on, boys. Come on, boys. Yes, Sean. Get it. Let's do it. Yes, Harvey.
Harvey and Stu, you and James. You might just end up marking the big one.
Well, a very good afternoon to you and happy Easter. Welcome along to My Albion TV. It's the penultimate PL2 home game for the Seagulls under 23s this Good Friday afternoon, and Leeds United are the visitors. Andrew Croft's side, have had a pretty good season on home soil. They've only lost one Sussex tie all season. They've already matched the points haul of last term, 30 on the board, and it could get even better today with a chance to rise 4 places up to 5th with a very big win, and as long as the result at Leicester goes their way, which is currently 1-1 at half-time. As for Leeds, well, they're very much still looking over their shoulder, 4 points adrift of safety with only a few to go this season. Just a couple of changes from the impressive victory over Derby at the beginning of last week, as top scorer Evan Ferguson makes his first PL2 appearance since February, and Tom McGill returns in goal. Elsewhere, Northern Irish duo Ben Wilson and 16-year-old Rory McConville return to the matchday squad on the bench. It's a complete attacking reshuffle from the last PL2 outing for Leeds, with all 3 forwards from their 4-0 win over Crystal Palace last week not included. 5 changes in total, with Hjelde, Miller, Bates, Joseph and Klaassen all coming in. There's no room for Leeds' top scorer and hat-trick hero in that last PL2 outing, Crescentio Somerville. Perhaps another PL appearance beckons for him. So the last few moments before we kick off this afternoon on what is a glorious sunny afternoon in Lancing. The officials this afternoon, the man in the middle there, making his way to the centre circle, Gary Parsons. He's assisted by Sean Jenkins and Marcus Carmichael. 4th official for you this afternoon, Timothy Godfrey. Oh, and I think we're going to bring this back just for all players, perhaps officials and staff, to take the knee. I think we are going to crack on this afternoon, to avoid the pun, sorry, very early on the Easter weekend. Header one there early on by Mark Leonard. Ball bobbles out for the first throw of the afternoon, and a chance then for the Seagulls to improve on their 9th place position last season in the PL2. They're already matched the same points and in the same position as it stands today. And a chance to rise up to 5th today. As for Leeds, well, very different mindset. They'll be looking to avoid the drop. Currently 4 points clear from Chelsea. But Chelsea do have a game in hand, including one against the Albion, as the ball is sent forward for the first time for Miller to chase. Ball does stay in play. Good hassling that from Furlong just to do enough. He was hoping he could shepherd it out for the goal kick. And McGill will trot over to take this one. And just a couple left for the Albion after this one. And that, as I say, includes Chelsea a week on Monday, 25th of April. Evan Ferguson getting stuck in for the first time this afternoon. Leeds it is. Who try and just pen in the Seagulls here early on. Looking fairly composed though, the Albion, as they have been all season really. Whether it be here at the Elite Football Performance Centre or on the odd occasion at the Amex, as it was last time out against Derby. 5-1 winners. That's turns with the clearance down the line, perhaps looking for Perpion, but it's an exquisite touch to bring it into under a spell there for Moran. Rides the challenge of Liam McCarran. Just be a throw-in though. Perpion picks up the throw from Afire and then spread across there. And skipper today, Mark Leonard. Decent tempo to this one already, and that's a decent interception from Afire. Perpion to his right, who he finds. Now this is Leonard. And the challenge once more comes in from Mark Leonard. Down the line, but Turns was always going to get there ahead of McKinstry. And it means that the Albion can spring an attack over on the far side. This is Furlong, was just held up by Miller, looking for his namesake Todd Miller. Down the line there was Furlong. And that is Jack Spong over there, man of the moment really. 4 goals in his last 2 home appearances in the PL2 for Jack Spong. It's not just been the goals that have made him stand out, he's been the anchor, especially recently alongside of today's skipper Mark Leonard. Turns gets it back from Leonard, who just clips one up towards halfway. Out jumped Perpion there by McCarran. Oh, that's a very confident turn in there from Leeds skipper Charlie Cresswell away from Evan Ferguson. Got that one wrong. There's a good chance Evan Ferguson could have built on his tally up to 9 in the PL2. And again, it's that man Cresswell on Ferguson. Play goes on though. Ferguson rolls around in a little bit of discomfort. Back on his feet now though. Well, this is a decent run here from McCarran. Perpion and Afire surround him. He's able to check in field. Leonard gets involved. And then taking over was Matteo Joseph. From distance, easy enough for McGill to claim. A curling effort. And immediately bowls it out to Roberts, who slots it back to McGill. Oh, but he slipped there. Has to come out the second time of asking, and then Brighton do just hack it clear up towards the centre circle. Not convincing though. And then, well, Gary Parsons not happy with something. Matteo Joseph, who's just claiming there was a slight nudge with the elbow from Hayden Roberts. So this is a drop ball, which Joseph rather reluctantly allows McGill to pick up. So rather a frenetic start, and that continues there as the Albion give it away. This time it was into Kenner. And in a flash though, we're back with Christopher Claassen in the Leeds goal. Dropping deep again is Jenkins. Up now to McKinstry. Looking for the ball down the line. That was well watched by Roberts, but Leeds continue down the middle of Brighton territory. It was laid off by Bates. Now to Jenkins again. Kenner spreads it out to McKinstry. They're holding on to the ball nicely, deep in Brighton territory. Can they apply the finish? Blocked effort. This will come out as far as Miller. Now Bates, but just crowded out there. Good defending right on the edge of the area from the Seagulls. To continue and press on, it's Evan Ferguson doing all the running up top. But Leeds also looking fairly competent on the ball. Now they make progress down that right flank. Miscue clearance from Terms. A few hiccups early on for the Seagulls defensively, but they haven't been made to pay just yet. Karen quickly gets us back under the way, helped on by Cresswell. Christopher Claassen afforded the time and space to wander outside of his penalty area. And then left-footed thumps it all the way to Roberts, who can just chest that through to McGill. So 9 minutes in, and it's Leeds who've started on the front foot. Seagulls a little bit shell-shocked. They just can't complete many clearances at the moment. This is McKinstry onto his right foot and flicked on there. Lurking was Joseph. Matter of yards out. Got to do better there, really. Yes, it was fizzed in. It's actually Jack Jenkins with the effort. McKinstry it is who stamps on the clearance from Terns onto his right foot. Decent delivery in towards Jenkins, and it is a hand-on head moment for Jack Jenkins. Gilt-edged opportunity for the visitors. Now, can Afai step away from trouble, or he can buy the free kick instead, which is equally as good because it just means that the Seagulls can dust themselves down and compose themselves. It's Leeds who've been able to push on and press on as Spong completes the clearance, the switch rather, over to Furlong. And then he too is fouled. This time on the left-hand side in front of the fans today, soaking up some Easter weekend sunshine. And now just for the moment Leeds have backed off ever so slightly, so the Seagulls perhaps can string a few passes together as they like to. And this man likes to drive on when he can as well. Roberts. Switch over to Perpion is a really good one, but the offside flag is up on this near side.
Yes, please. Yes, please. 10 yards forward, keep coming. 7, come off the ball, please. Let him play. Harvey, close! Harvey! 7, let him play!
It's much better though from Brighton. Right intent, just strayed offside there, Perpion. So it's back now with McKinstry. Good tackle that from Afai. And again, it's just in the last few moments that Leeds have backed off ever so slightly, but Seagulls now do invite the pressure forward. It's Kenner moving forward. Now Roberts on his heels. And they almost had it back there again, Leeds, but it will go back now over to that far side with Sutcliffe. Now, this is Hjelde, his centre-back partner and skipper, Charlie Cresswell. Shepherding that out there, Furlong did just about enough.
Recognise the triggers.
And McGill does go to his right with Terns, both centre-backs as we see so often with Graham Potter's side, but also with Andrew Croft's side from the restart, splitting the 6-yard box, and possession handed straight back to Leeds. You wouldn't think from this opening 12 minutes that it's Leeds struggling at the bottom of PL2, as Terns can knock that one back rather comfortably to Tom McGill. Bowls it out again to Roberts, but they're hunting down. Roberts was Lewis Bate. Hunted down in packs really this afternoon so far, and a chance for them to drive forward once again. In goes Leonard with the sliding challenge. Roberts will try to sweep up, moving left, still going. Todd Miller with the ball back into turns, able to control it, bring it down onto the deck. Now then, I thought that was going to be a chance then for a Fire to drive on, but another misplaced pass. I mean, it's a Leeds thrown. Again, keeping the Albion penned back. Good hassling and harrying again from a Fire, but he can't prevent the throw-in. Congested out on this near side. Back it goes to throw and takeoff. Skipped away from a few challenges there. This now is Kenner. Brighton staying deep, trying to repel this Leeds attack. Now Moran does well to stride away from trouble. This could be where Brighton make an impact. Todd Miller looking for Evan Ferguson. Can Moran win it back to keep the attack going? No, he can't. So this instead is McKinstry, the lively McKinstry in these opening exchanges. Joseph now trying to skip away from Mark Leonard. He can't prevent the first corner for Leeds this afternoon. Towards the back post, flicked on. And there is a decision against Leeds there in the Brighton 6-yard box. And it's a Fire who maybe just picked up a slight knock as the corner came in. This is Spong. Seagulls need to get him involved a little bit more, just to try and dictate play, because in a heartbeat again, it's all the way back to McGill under pressure. Well, Leeds have done their homework here. They could see that it's when teams back off Brighton at home that they can start to roll the ball around, keep hold of possession, but they're pressing high at every occasion. Won't be able to last for the full 90, I'm sure, but they won't care. They'll want to get that opening goal. Brighton looking good on the break, though. This is Andy Moran trying to play in Perpion. He may still get there, Perpion. Shrugs aside the challenges, could be bundled in. No, cleared away by Leo Hjelde. Leonard getting stuck in to try and keep the momentum with the Albion. Well, it's not the worst offload by Moran, but Perpion had to shrug aside McCarran to get in towards goal. Half-hearted appeals there for a penalty. Gary Parsons was very close by. Now, this is Furlong. Can't beat the first man, away by Cresswell. This time it's Leeds who can't properly clear, but the ball does fall to Kenner. Now McCarran. So Miller it is now who's pressed up and trying to peg back Leeds. Turns, looks long towards halfway. Really good lay off that from Ferguson into Perpion. He can't make the most of it. But Brighton hang on to possession over on that far side. It was Miller getting involved. Now Moran, who's just started to see a little bit of the ball in the last few moments. Now a Fire, acres of space on that far side. Can Ferguson finish it off? May fall to Perpion, cleared away, only as far as a Fire. Good work from a Fire, low ball in, pinballing around the Leeds area. And then I think it's the offside flag on this near side that's gone up. Delicious ball over to this near side from Moran. First time from a fire. The first touch isn't bad, but just shows a bit too much of it to Klaassen. There we are, back underway with the lead skipper, Charlie Cresswell, England under-21 international. You may be familiar with that name, one of the players who has been involved with Jesse Marsh's Premier League side this season. 5 Premier League appearances in total for Charlie Cresswell. Debut coming in September against West Ham. That's just curved down the right flank and now played back, decent delivery in. It's good work from Turns that, just to put off, I think it was Joseph in the middle. And that's a good return pass from Perpi onto a fire. Now he can get those long legs going, striding out down the near side. Good build-up play between the two of them, Perpi on and a fire. Still going here. Just alleviates a bit of pressure straight away if you can drive away from trouble, and that was a late challenge from Jack Jenkins.
Would you like treatment? You'd like treatment? Yes, please. Can we have treatment?
Fire's just going to take his time here, slow to his feet. In fact, he's going to receive some treatment.
Right on a touchline for me there, where we are.
Now it's probably the Seagulls who need these stoppages more than Leeds just now, trying to disrupt their momentum. Brighton with a decent win last time out last Monday, 5-1 against Derby, but Leeds with an excellent victory of their own. 4-0 they beat Palace at home. There we see the challenge again from Jenkins, and it looks as though the studs were up as well, perhaps lucky not to be shown the red there.
He can come straight back on when it's kicked him, okay?
So Leeds, as I say, off the back of that impressive 4-0 win over Palace, but it's Brighton with a rare foray forward here. Set-piece specialist Jack Spong's going to try and swing this one in to the danger zone. Left-footed, deep cross. Ferguson turns in there, so is Ferguson. It's going to fall to Moran. Whistle has gone from Gary Parsons. That's more like it, though, from the Albion. Turns and Ferguson causing a nuisance. It was Turns who leapt highest. I think it may have struck Ed Turns' hand there. So now it's the chance for Brighton to keep Leeds pegged back. Klaassen just slipped as he hit that one, so a chance for Moran and Spong to try and build the foundations of another attack. This is Roberts. He can square it now to Turns. Brighton have just been able to push up in the last 5 minutes or so. What we're more accustomed to at home for the Seagulls. Spong, though, does well after the offload from Moran. Now Furlong moving infield. The Albion just growing into this one with 21.5 minutes played. Fire just floats one forward for Perpi to chase. Cresswell was always going to be able to just shove Perpi across, and he picks it up again now. Over to Sutcliffe. This is knowing Kenner dropping deeper. The Liberian-born former England under-17. He's got a goal and an assist to his name in the PL2 this season. This man also has a goal and assist to his name this season. Liam McCarron. He's been linking up nicely with McKinstry, who picks it up again here. Now Bate can take over. Kenner thinks about the effort, blocked by Spong. Jenkins is able to sweep up midway through the Brighton half, and now again Brighton just drop that bit deeper and allow Leeds to dictate possession. Invited forward there was Hjelde. Getting involved again was Moran, but it's not enough to hold on to possession for too long. Now perhaps they can with Perpion up to Ferguson. That's a really good trap and then turn. Bundled over there by Hjelde. Could work that from Ever Ferguson. 8 goals from his 10 starts and 5 substitute appearances in the PL2 this season. As I said earlier on, it's his first Premier League 2 appearance since February, and that was just after his Premier League debut at the Amex and a 3-0 defeat to Burnley. Good pressure that from Miller as Klaassen cleared, but Roberts couldn't quite cushion the header towards Furlong, so out for a Leeds throw. Into Jenkins. That was neat control from Jack Jenkins, but can't find Joseph ahead of him. Roberts under pressure from Bate and Joseph, so goes back to McGill. Decent connection on that, looking for Ferguson. Ball bounces back into possession of Kenner. Just rebounds there off Moran. And in this passage of play again, Brighton just opting to sit deep once more. And that could spell danger as Leeds make waves down that right-hand side. Not behind for the Leeds corner.
Right, Chris, let's get it right. Good Mills, not too soon, Mills.
So everyone back then for the Seagulls. Floated cross in towards the skipper Cresswell, and in the end an easy enough claim for McGill. Bowls it out underarm there to Miller. Striding ahead of him is Ferguson. This is a decent run of his own though from Miller. Now Ferguson can take over. Just drops the shoulder. Can he get the cross in? Unmarked is Perpion. Oh, and side foots it well wide. He got that all wrong. Superb build-up play on the left-hand side from Miller and Ferguson. The cross is pinpoint accurate from Ferguson. You can see Perpion there in the bottom right of your screen. Just meandering into the area, unmarked, just ghosting in. But he can't get the volleyed fearless right. Still goalless. Did take a slight nick on the way through.
Good, Stuart, organise it. Harvey, organise it.
Leonard with the corner, deep towards the back post, turns is there, and that's an easy claim for Klaassen. Look at Klaassen trying to break out quickly. It was always going to be hard to get the power behind that header from Ed Turns. See, like it does look as though it was one they practiced in training, just high and deep towards the back post. Turns was lurking, couldn't apply the finish. Now Roberts smashes one up towards halfway. Lewis Bate able to win it back. Now Kenner moving it around quickly. Kenner lets fly, but immediately blocked by Leonard. This is where the Seagulls just need to control the ball better, bring it down to the deck quicker. And they are able to do that. And go back to McGill, now a fire. Linking up again with Perpion. Now Ferguson just lost where the ball was for a moment. Look at those Leeds shirts just surrounding Brighton very quickly. As I say, as we go into the second half, I imagine there'll be a few more tired legs out there. Intensity levels have been extremely high from the visitors so far in this opening half hour. No doubt Andrew Crofts would have been expecting an early onslaught, and they've come through unscathed. It is still goalless if you're just joining us this Good Friday afternoon. A few half chances, fairly comfortable saves for both keepers to make. Seagulls certainly started the slower, but they have looked good in certain periods of the game. But this is McKinstry. Good toe in that from Perpion, but could only find Joseph, and then on the follow-up was Kenner. Sliding in was Turns. Important block that. The ball has gone out. Well, I thought it was for a corner. I think it's the offside flag that's gone up on the far side. Well, McGill tried to move responsibility onto Ed Turns for this set piece, but McGill it is who wanders over. Takes this one right-footed on this near side. The target again no doubt was Ferguson, but Cresswell pretty much unmarked, able to thump his header back into Brighton territory. Oh, that's a good turn away from trouble there from Roberts, and a good flick from Moran. Good strength as well. Can he keep going? There is a challenge in the back of him there by Noah Kenner.
Ready to attack the spaces in front.
So the Albion have soaked up enough pressure so far, but as the game's gone on, they found themselves in these kind of better positions. This could be even better for Evan Ferguson. On the angle with the effort, down low to his left, Klaassen with the stop. Superb hit that from Ferguson, took it a little bit early, hardly any backlift there. And Klaassen had to be alert to it from the angle. It's a strong hand to put it behind for the corner.
Murray. Just connect a little bit, because if he comes off the keeper, keep checking.
Murray, we've got to stop the switch, and then you've got to just reorientate your body, ready to go if you need to. But stay close, no problem.
So can the Albion keep this mini spell of momentum up? It falls now to Perpion. Leonard will recycle it over to this near flank. Spong just drops the shoulder. And he's shown too much of it to Jenkins. Head down, sprinting down this left flank, still going. Helping out now is Matteo Joseph. And it's Spong who does enough just to get his foot on the ball ahead of Joseph and then ride the challenge. Brighton free kick.
Come on. It's good. Just keep going. Matteo, get your head up. Come on. Ref, it's 20 yards back. Ref, it's 20 yards back. Do it. I'm not oblivious. Back over the centre off. Hey, switch on. Don't switch off. Focus on the game. Come on, not the ref.
Leave him with Leo. Leo! Shoulder!
This is Leonard now just dropping deep. Has extra cover. Looking out left, now right. One for Perpion's chase. Excellent ball forward to Cam Perpion. Support is there again from Afire. Tries to go for the first time flick back into Adela Fire. Leonard's there to help out once more. They just get the flick there. I thought it got a flick for a moment off Hjelder. He's a throw in on this near side for Leeds.
Keep coming. Liam, walk up.
Down the line it goes. Flicked on there by Joseph. Right throw.
Second ball's is us, boys. You ready?
Leeds have done well with their marking, sticking to their task. No easy outlet from the throw, but a chance again for Ferguson to surge forward, trying to hold off Cresswell. Instead he finds Moran, and there it is, there's the open up. Ferguson at the heart of it, does all the hard work, runs over to congratulate his Irish under-21 teammate.
Next one, let's go.
This is the chance from earlier, good save that.
Liam, just real quick, just for you to
Another
understand it.
burst forward from Ferguson, holds off his man. The ball into the middle is a good one. Moran down the centre of the goal. Klaassen gets something on it, but not enough. Gets away from two Leeds, just shrugs them aside. It's a decent ball squared across to Moran. They were queuing up and does enough to get it past Klaassen. So despite the bright opening for Leeds United, it's the Seagulls who have the lead just after the half-hour mark. And it did seem as though that was part of the game plan. They knew it might be all guns blazing from Leeds to start. Just soak that up, wait for the openings. That's exactly what Brighton have done. Fire with the header up towards Ferguson again. Leonard nods it over to Perpion. Kinstreet and a Fire going for that one. Fire not happy with that decision, thought it came off Stuart McKinstry. This is McCarran. Perpion gets his boot in. Now arrowing towards the edge of the area again. It's the goal scorer Moran. Leaves it for Perpion. Clips it towards the back post. Full stretch there. Klaassen able to grab that one. This is Sutcliffe. Rolls it back now to Cresswell. Good challenge from Spong, but it's not enough to get the ball away from Miller. Ball now towards the back post. There was no one beyond McGill, but it's a good catch nonetheless. And now those pockets of space are just starting to appear for the Seagulls. Perpion checks back in field of Kenner. And this is a bit more assured from the Seagulls. Ferguson helping out. And now it's the turn of Leeds to drop deep. This is Roberts, allowed just to press on into Moran, edge of the area, leaves it for Perpion, who doesn't quite get the strike right. Still forced a save from Klaassen, but the build-up play is sensational again from the Albion. It was Roberts bursting forward this time. Moran flicks it onto Perpion, and first time with his left foot, can't quite pick out the bottom right corner. This is Lewis Bate dropping deep. The Albion happy to stand off for the moment after taking the lead. And if that was 20 minutes ago, Joseph would have been sprinting forward for that one, but they've just been able to run Leeds into the ground slightly. A Fire. Good ball that to Moran. He was looking for Ferguson. There's a slight nudge on the Leeds defender there. Leo Hjelde. The referee wants it taken from where the incident happened. This is Kenner now. Brighton disciplined in their shape rather than just staying deeper now and all hands to the pump. They're able to shape up. Ferguson just waiting for his moment to move forward towards Cresswell. Out goes Leonard towards McKinstry. Chance now for Brighton just to push up, put the pressure on. But this is Matteo Joseph. Skips in field, really good block before it turns. May fall to Jenkins, rebounds again, and out for a goal kick. Well, that's a bit more solid from the Seagulls at the back. They were able to get something on the shot from distance. And when it fell to a Leeds player again, it was dealt with rather comfortably. McGill drives it up towards Ferguson. Moran tries to win it back. Claims that he was clipped just there as he went for the bouncing ball. Play goes on. This is Jenkins. Good play again there from Roberts. Wins it back, and his first thought immediately to get on the front foot. And that spong round the corner for Ferguson's chase. Excellent ball. Back post is Cam Perpion.
Liam, be aware. Back post, Liam. Mark the man, Liam. Mark the man, Liam.
Assured hold-up play that for Ferguson. The switch is on, just behind a fire, but Leeds still pegged back for the moment. Low ball into Moran. Good first touch, gets away from Kenner. Albion just opt to restart. Roberts stumbles, but Turns is there to take over. And now Spong can get us underway. Over to the left flank. This is Furlong. Now Miller. Left-footed from Klaassen. Forces the issue there, does Evan Ferguson. Onto his weaker foot, perhaps. Furlong looking for a Fire who stayed in the area here. He's got Ferguson behind him. Finds him, but a Fire can step in onto the left foot. Nodded away by Cresswell. And it will be a Brighton corner. Well, the Albion looking threatening on both flanks. This time it's the imposing of Fire who stayed forward. And so just under 5 minutes to go until the break. Seagulls a goal up, and they've stuck to their task well, able to weather the early storm. Towards the back post. It was Turns rising high again. Spong able to get there ahead of Miller. But it'll be Miller who will pick this one up ahead of Perpion. Turns away from the challenge of Perpion. Tries to bring into play Joseph, but it's Furlong temporarily moved over to the near side, Brighton's right. He did the business there and found a ball back to McGill. Only as far now as Kenner. Now Jenkins, who seems to be popping up everywhere for Leeds in that midfield. Bate can't find the onrushing Sutcliffe on the far side, so Kenner will pick it up once more. And now Sutcliffe can size up across into the area. It's Miller he's got to beat. And Miller, who he can't beat, good control to bring it down as well, and then just clears, probably sensibly. It's found the feet of Ferguson. Again, good strength to hold off the first Leeds man, but not enough to hold off the second. Sliding in with the challenge before was Spong, also there Ferguson, but may fall to McKinstry. That's a decent looped ball over to Miller. Cross come shot away by Roberts. Ferguson's back there defending, helping out. Wins the free kick, good work. Well, it looked as though he may have been a bit off balance there as Lewis Bate came in for the challenge. Does well to win the free kick.
Stand it, better, better.
3 minutes. What's your runner's half? Liam, outside, Liam. Round, Leo, round. Yes.
Good switch over to Furlong. Good close control as well. Still has it, but then just crowded out. He will get a second bite of the cherries. He's able to go back to Roberts. McGill elects to go long, which is never a bad choice when you've got Evan Ferguson up there. You can't win it on this occasion. As Leonard goes to ground under the challenge from Lewis Bate there. Seems to be in quite a lot of pain. Play continues. Now Leonard may get a chance to recover, maybe receive some treatment. Well, the Scottish under-21 back on his feet. So just a moment of pain there. You can run that one off, hopefully. Spong up to Miller, then Leonard looking for the switch. Stamped on by Leeds, but it will find its way over to Perpion. Arrowing in towards the edge there. This is opening up nicely for Perpion. Gets it back from Ferguson. Perpion for two. Good block by the Leeds defenders. Sliding in there is Leonard. Will he have a go? And now Kenner it is that slides into block. Ferguson moving out to the right wing. Well, Evan Ferguson looking for another free kick there. Instead, just falls on top of the ball and out for a throw.
Do it, come with him. Fucking course, man. People near. Back alley, back alley. Come, Lou. You can too. Come, do it.
I'm with you, Leo. Be aggressive.
Ferguson in the heart of the action again. 4 lead shirts around him there at one stage, and that means there's a bit of space for Perpion. Trying to turn around and out of trouble. Moran's there. First time cross is a good one into Miller. Fizzed into his feet, so he couldn't quite keep it under his close control. So this is Roberts who'll go again. Loves to surge forward whenever he can. Furlong got caught in 2 minds there, trying to look for the return pass. Didn't know whether to go for Miller or Roberts, so Leeds able to move forward down the centre. Can they find a finishing touch? It's Jenkins there again, who asks for the decision right on the edge of the area. Nothing doing from Gary Parsons, so McCarran can pick it up. Play carries on, and McCarran still asks the question as to how that wasn't a decision in favour of Leeds on the edge of the area. Brighton retreat into shape. Jenkins. But that will be the end of the first half. After a lively Leeds start, Brighton who warmed to the task. Decent chances for Perpion and Ferguson. But it was Ferguson who fed it to Moran for the open-up just after the half-hour mark. At half-time here, Albion 1, Leeds United 0.
Boys, 2 minutes, get the ball moving.
Yeah, decent. Oh, that finish was nasty, Vina.
Come on, Jess.
Shit. Bro, but
What?
I close out attacking.
Yeah, they got team.
Details full. Central. Yeah, just have a receive of the ball, hold it up, release out to Benny. Benny, a little recycle. That's a little passing play. Nice, realistic action, in and out. Yep. Yeah, ready for the ball. Have a little turn, press into the area, distribute quick. Half turn into the space, have a little drive out. Good. Same again, attack the space, finish. Yeah, go on then. Get up. You playing, yeah?
Welcome back to My Albion TV. If you're just joining us after that first half, the Seagulls a goal to the good,
Really simple.
courtesy of a goal made in Ireland. It was Evan Ferguson with some great work arrowing into the right edge of the area, squares it across for Moran to give the Seagulls the lead. Before that, the visitors from West Yorkshire started really quite well, cramping the Seagulls for space, pushing them back without too many big chances to talk of, but the Albion just soaked it all up, grew into the game, some good chances. There was a misplaced volleyed effort from Cam Perpion. Ferguson had a decent half chance just after that, but then 33 minutes in, it was Andy Moran who gave the Albion the opener. His third of the season, to go along with his 4 assists so far in the PL2. And despite the 8 goals from Evan Ferguson, that was his first assist of the PL2 campaign. It looks as though there has been a change at the break for the Seagulls. Ben Wilson has made his way onto the field. There's also a change there for Leeds. It's Liam McCarran who departs. He's replaced by Max Dean. So just trying to see who Ben Wilson has replaced. I can't immediately see Evan Ferguson. We'll get that confirmed for you now that we are back underway and just a few seconds in. A rather robust challenge on Amari Miller. Gary Parsons, this afternoon's referee, just ensuring he's happy before he trots away. Has a look over the action that will ensue on the edge of the area, perhaps. Floated forward by McKinstry, nodded away as far as Miller, who can get away from Moran. Can he get away from Cam Perpion? Just checks back. The delivery into the box is looking for Hjelde, and under pressure there, McGill. It was an impressive claim. He's quick to find the feet of Mark Leonard. Right-footed, sends one up towards Ben Wilson. That's loose. It means that Miller can find Moran. His first touch was a bit heavy as well, so showed a bit too much of it to the Leeds defender. So it rebounds off him and to the feet of Christopher Klaassen. Made a really important stop just before the Andy Moran goal. Klaassen, one of 2 Norway under-21 internationals, alongside of Leo Hjelde in the heart of the Leeds defence this afternoon. Ben Wilson asking the question there of Kenner. Leeds do just about enough to clear over to this near side, but that's good work from Furlong just to drag the ball away there from Joseph. Roberts is forced back though to McGill, slightly off balance, able to get a decent enough connection on the clearance into Leeds territory. Sutcliffe. Joseph does get there after it rebounded off of Roberts, just off balance there, but then following in is a shot from McKinstry straight at Tom McGill. Now that is a decent chance for the visitors. He's frustrated with himself, McKinstry. It was a decent chance laid onto him on a plate on the edge of the area. Looking for his 3rd of the season. Falls for him nicely, side foots it straight into the chest of Tom McGill. That's a foul there from Jack Spong. Brighton early on in this second half just trying to frustrate Leeds because they've come out and started this second 45 as they did the first 45. Bright, lots of high tempo passing, This is Jenkins, who was at the heart of a lot of that in the first half. Now Bate dropping deep. Jenkins just turns away from Miller. Now Wilson tempted forward. There's an outlet over on this near side for Harvey Sutcliffe. Infield to Bate. Plenty of space for him to assess his options. Bit too much on that one though, so Perpion tries to find Spong, but it's straight back to Joseph. Neat feet from him. Laid off by Hjelde. This is Hjelde still going into the area, just wide. Well, that was a surge forward from the aforementioned Leo Hjelde. Had to double check the number for a minute, the centre back. Just continued his run here, gets it back from Bate on the angle. Thought, why not? Just wide of McGill's goal. Brighton are able to fashion a clearance towards the Leeds half, and Ben Wilson can latch onto that, but Bate does just about enough to hassle Ben Wilson, the Northern Irish under 19. Good work from Furlong to get his toe end on that ahead of Max Dean. It looks as though they've moved to a more of a back three now. Leeds going a little bit more attacking in this second half as they go in search of an equaliser. But it's Seagulls who go in search of extending the lead. Miller on the angle. Really good run. Really tight on the angle there. Gets enough behind it, but Klaassen alert to it at his near post. Just trying to get the better there of Sutcliffe. Maybe forced a little bit too wide of goal, and it's a comfortable save in the end for Klaassen. Now this is McKinstry into Turns, who can't prevent the corner. Another deep one towards the back post, and it clears every Leeds man, and out for a Brighton goal kick. So chance wasted there for the visitors. Had all their centre halves out there, and the towering presence of Leo Hjelde, Cresswell, Kenner, but rather wasteful over all of their heads. They should just float it out to the near side for Furlong. Really good ball that from McGill. It was a tough one to control. Lurking there was Miller to pounce out for the throw in on this near side. You can see there Furlong just trying to gain a few yards. The throw will be taken right in front of Andrew Crofts and Shannon Ruth. Moran makes the run near. Now down the line it's Wilson. Just doubled up on there for a moment, so Furlong goes over to help out. Now Miller, and then the challenge flying in from James Furlong. Does enough to put it out for the throw. Gary Parsons wants a word with Leonard. Make of that what you will. Rather brief discussion. Maybe some off the ball antics. pitch it forward to Miller, and then his namesake Todd Miller gets involved, does well to turn over possession. Under pressure here though is Turns. Can't find Perpion. So it's Hjelde. Look at him striding forward again. But it's now the substitute Max Dean.
Well done, keep going.
Hjelde going for the Shane Duffy role as a temporary striker at times this afternoon.
You ready, Mills?
Sutcliffe back into Kenner now, who's just there slotting in while Hjelde returns. But I think Hjelde is staying forward. He's in more advanced position full time now. He's not just a temporary striker. I think he may be filling a gap in that midfield. Jenkins continued the run, but Miller can't quite get away from Leonard, and then Todd Miller goes to retrieve. Good defending that from the Seagulls. Not the best clearance forward though, so Cresswell can get Leeds started again. This is Hjelde, who has just dropped back now. McKinstry into Cresswell. Jenkins just rides the challenge of Spong. Leeds moving from left to right. That ball forward towards Miller is cut out by Roberts, who immediately head up looking for the options ahead of him, skips away from a few Leeds shirts and then offloads it to the right. Now Afire shows his strength, just checks back. But again, a lot of Leeds shirts converging on Perpion over there. Now Roberts. Leeds flood forward again just to try and cramp the Seagulls of space. But this is a good run from Furlong. Head down, driving forward. Took a really good challenge there from Kenner to stop his progress. This game really stretched just now. How about that for a sliding challenge from Afire? And this is what the Seagulls want to do. Just knock it about. Some intricate and incisive passing, even if it's in their own area. Just let Leeds do a bit of the chasing. Leonard first time now to Roberts. Oh, but he showed a bit too much of that to Amari Miller. There's space ahead of him. Tries to get the ball in ahead of Leonard. It will drop again to Miller. Almost a karate kick clear there from Mark Leonard.
Move again! Time!
It's the sub Dean who's just ghosted into a pocket of space there. Spong with a really important block. Roberts just about keeps it out from the corner, but can't prevent the throw-in. Important passage of play here for the Albion. They've got to stay switched on. Just pen back for the moment. Another little prod clear there from Leonard out for the throw. There's Ben Wilson as well, getting back for the Seagulls. Good turn away from Dean. He's looked lively since his introduction. Now Jenkins. Just to the left of him is Bate, who picks it up now. Instead it's McKinstry, sorry. But that's a decent, well, it looked like a decent sliding challenge from Spong. Gary Parsons didn't think so. Just short of the edge of the area. Well, on the first showing, I must admit, I thought it looked like a strong but fair challenge from Jack Spong. And then you see the blue and white shirts surround Gary Parsons. Either way, they're going to have this free kick to defend. And it's in a really promising position from a Leeds point of view. Lewis Bate looks the favourite. So it is Lewis Bate who's eyeing this one up. Shelder was there for a minute. Maybe thinking about the Thunderbolt. Can Bolt find the leveller? No, he can't, just over Tom McGill's goal. You see what he was trying to do. Always going to be tricky to get the ball up and down from just outside the area.
Defending set pieces, you're gonna have
Another substitution here. This is Sean McGurk, who's coming on to replace Stuart McKinstry.
You, Jenks, Harvey, and Dino. You, Jenks, Harvey, Dino.
McGurk, 2 goals to his name this season after signing from Wigan last summer. Started at his boyhood club Liverpool. And he won the under-18s league with Wigan last season, 13 goals, so an attacking move. Smart first touch that from Furlong, not the best layoff to Leonard though. Miller straight away looking for Dean, but the challenge late on Miller wasn't the greatest. Furlong again, this time he will get the yellow card. He's had a few warnings from Gary Parsons, James Furlong. Walking the proverbial tightrope now for the rest of the afternoon, Furlong. You may remember he was sent off on the opening day of the season in the Albion's 2-0 win over Derby County back in August. So it's Lewis Bate over this one again, the former Chelsea man. Brighton trying to keep the discipline on the line on the edge of the area. Plenty queuing up right at the back of that line on the left-hand side from a Leeds perspective. Just chipped towards them. Roberts rises highest. Afire scampers over to try and get there ahead of Miller. Good work from Afire to win the throw-in as well. Fire into Moran. He was just waiting for the options, and again crowded out by Leeds. This is Bate into Dean. Good work defensively by Miller. Clearance is only as far as Sutcliffe. Stepping in that time was Leonard. Wilson almost grabbed it back. Sutcliffe skips away from Leonard. Maybe thought about the shot for a moment. Dean with the ball into Furlong. Furlong out for the corner.
Excellent, Harvey, Dino, excellent. Come on, let's come in.
The McGurk who'll wander over with Bate for this set piece. Perpion and Miller eventually switch on to the danger, so Bate just jogs on into the area. So can the Seagulls preserve this clean sheet? 62 minutes in. And the free kick goes the way of the Albion as well. So no danger there from the corner.
Come on, keep working, it's coming. Keep going.
Good head of that from Sutcliffe. Miller just trying to bring the ball down. Leonard making sure it's hard work for him to do so. But a bit too much of a nuisance there, and Leonard not for the first time. A little discussion there with Gary Parsons, and I think if I've monitored his gesticulation correctly, that is a last warning because you fouled there, there and there. Bate, left-footed, shapes it out towards Sutcliffe. Feigns to cross and then cuts inside of Miller. This now is the ever-present Bate over to Miller. Sutcliffe once more. Furlong just staying tight to his man. Leonard also helping out. Spong can't find Wilson though, so Kenner looks for the ball forward. Leonard at the heart of the defence again, and Miller smashes that one over, hoping rather than expectation to find Perpion. Jenkins swings one over towards Hjelde, who'd made a run forward again. Now a chance though for Moran to pick it up again from Afire. Good break this one from the Seagulls. Ball in towards Wilson, but it's far too close to Klaassen, who's in a hurry. And this is Lewis Bate. Good turn. The game's starting to stretch again past the hour mark. Bate moves it from left to right. Sutcliffe looking forward for the options. Finds Miller, who comes in field to Bate. They switched up the play nicely on a number of occasions this afternoon, Leeds. And it's the Yorkshire side who've started to dictate possession again. Leonard can't complete the clearance. So this is Bate with looking for the substitute. Dean, look at the blue and white shirts flying in ahead of him with the Roberts, Turns and Furlong all getting involved. It's Furlong who's getting the plaudits. Spong just asked a bit too much of Leonard, so Miller straight away finds Bate, who feeds it into Dean. Just tries to get away from Furlong, but stayed on his feet there, Furlong. Good lunge out for the corner. So it'll be the substitute McGurk again. Just floats it towards the back post, looking for Cresswell, who gets something on it. Miller was lurking at the back post, cleared away as far as Perpion. Juggles it clear of McGurk. Then held up by McGurk, turned over possession really well there. Liverpudlian. And this is Bate with the strike. Comfortable for McGill. Well, he had time to size that one up, did Bate. There've been a few occasions where he could have pulled the trigger. That time, felt it was right, but straight down the throat of Tom McGill. Clearance was from a fire. Straight back to the feet of Leeds, and Dean not happy with something there. The yellow card is out for, I believe, Turns with the challenge there.
Let it be you, like we've done, going a line, we can press around the back, send them short, you're free on the edge.
Well, Turns was rolled there, so he doesn't have too many complaints. It was his fellow centre-back Hayden Roberts who was doing the protesting for him.
How many times you do it in training? Physically, you have time to finish.
So Gary Parsons just wants to make sure he has everything in order before we can get back underway again with this set piece. More defensive work for the Seagulls to preserve this clean sheet as we approach 67 minutes played. Still, it's the Andy Moran goal that separates the two sides. Lewis Bate leaves it for McGurk. And again, it's easy enough for McGill. Furlong's made the run on this near side, but just instead decides to bowl it out to Roberts, looking forward. Sends it forward for Miller. Easy enough that though for Cresswell, just needs to stand off Todd Miller. Wins it back. This is Sutcliffe. Back into the captain, Cresswell. Klaassen in the end goes short to Bate, but there's a few blue and white shirts there to ask the question. Now Klaassen does go long. Turns got there first, but rebounds off and into the path of Joseph. All on his own is Miller, looking for the equaliser. It's just wide. Well, that's a huge chance for the visitors. Fell to them rather fortuitously, but Joseph did enough. Slipped in Miller. And he can't find his fifth of the season.
Go get that ball!
Start higher, higher.
Go get that
And
ball!
you can be ready to jump to the wing back. Mari, stay central.
Shake, good. Hey, Mateo, you ready to run? You ready to run? Stay high.
So McGill just sends his centre-backs forward for this one. No short passes to get us back underway from the restart. Over the head of Wilson. Fire sends it to the feet of Amari Miller. Backtracking there is Furlong trying to get back into position, and he does it well. But that's not the best challenge from Roberts. Just swung a boot there. Missed the ball entirely. Turns those sliding in. How about that for a sliding challenge forward? Good pace this from Wilson to put the pressure on Cresswell, but shows his experience there. Knew he was coming, so could just turn away. Good play that from Charlie Cresswell. Clarkson did the hard work there to turn away from, I think it was Todd Miller. Floats the ball straight out of play. Well, Perpion didn't look like he wanted to take that throw. I think he was waiting for a teammate as Leonard volleyed it into the Leeds half. That's a good ball in the middle there for Jenkins. Trying to find the run of Miller, who half-heartedly puts the thumbs up in appreciation. Well, it looks as though Miller's starting to huff and puff on this near side. We said about the lively starts to the first and second half for Leeds. Maybe that's starting to show now as a fire neatly moves in field of one, then two. Look at this run forward. Busting run forward. Leaves it now for Moran. Overlapping on this near side is Furlong. So too is Miller. Back now looking for the return ball into Moran, but Leonard stayed up. Spong. This is a fire who's also stayed up. And Wilson trying to get there ahead of Hjelde, who can just shepherd that out for the goal kick. So we're into the last 20 minutes. Seagulls still with the slender advantage, courtesy of Andy Moran. If the scoreline stays like this, the Albion will go up one spot to 8th. There was a chance before the ball was kicked. Oh, and that's a horrid challenge from Miller. It's a tired challenge who does just walk away from trouble, but Spong wasn't happy with it. Well, there's no doubt it was late. Oh, and it just, again, the studs do just go up and into Mark Leonard. Definite yellow card, which Gary Parsons brandishes. I think Parsons wants a word with Jack Spong here because of his reaction. So we'll see what happens to Jack Spong. Maybe just a talking to. And into the last 18 minutes. It is a warm day today. It's Good Friday afternoon, so some vital fluids for the Seagulls players there. Game plan has been pretty good. I'm sure the weather will have come into it. They will have expected an onslaught from Leeds early on, certainly in the first half, but Brighton dealt with it well enough. Still got the clean sheet intact. There were a few nervous moments that were unforced errors for the Seagulls in the first half. Just a few too many misplaced passes, but as I say, they got through it. So the Seagulls currently sitting in 8th in the PL2, level on the same points as Crystal Palace and Tottenham above them in 7th and 6th respectively. If they can find 4 goals this afternoon, the Seagulls, 4 more goals, then they will rise up to 6th. But with 17 minutes to play, that might be asking a bit too much. So it feels like an age ago since we had that challenge from Amari Miller or Mark Leonard, but we are almost ready to get back underway now. Jack Spong then, left-footed, looking for the header of Roberts. I think it was Hjelde there, just clutching his head momentarily. There he goes again, as Leeds try to get out of trouble. Jenkins. This is Sutcliffe bursting forward. Leonard back there to help out, so too Turns. Maybe didn't want to get that touch on it, but does well to not concede the corner.
Leo, come in. Come in. Get the feet in the box, Dino. Dino, get it. Move.
Sliding in there, Leonard. Good work in the 75th minute. Not loads to play for the Seagulls in these dying embers of this PL2 campaign, but you'd never know it. Fighting for this victory here, a fire. Able to find a good outlet in Camperpion. He knew there was the space over there for the Australian under-23. Miller and Moran in the middle make the runs, but just showed a bit too much of that to Charlie Cresswell. This is McGurk into Hjelde. And now Leeds showing a bit of patience, just trying to dictate the tempo there at the back, try and slow things down and calm down proceedings. This is Miller dropping deep. Now Jenkins, good turn from him. Forward it goes to Dean. Brighton step in well though. And that's Wilson. He can't find Miller, so it's easy enough for Bate to bring back Cresswell into play. Dean. Over here is Sutcliffe. Again, head up straight away, looking for the movement on the edge of the area. Instead tries to play in Miller, but Roberts will watch that ball eventually roll out for the goal kick.
Keep going! Hey, Dino, don't give up. Go together! Go together!
As Murray makes that run into the
Go
half
together,
space,
Sean!
diagonal 10.
Go together! Good! Shape them! Come in! Seconds! Go!
McGill over to Furlong. Good chest control that and helped on towards Wilson. Furlong had stayed up and now needs to retreat because Sutcliffe has found Miller. Furlong and Roberts around him. Good defensive play once more from Furlong. Probably hear the cry of no foul there. Obliges.
Sean ready, back post! Move again, move again! Lewis! Go! Come on! Hey, it's alright, forget about it! Just get that
Disciplined marking there from the Seagulls. Forces the issue, miscontrol that from Max Dean. Brighton throw now.
Be ready, it's coming to you. Be ready. Sean, in that gap.
They've been resolute so far, the Seagulls, but they've still got over 12 minutes to negotiate, plus any added on time. Sutcliffe lost the flight of that for a moment after he headed it straight up. And this is Moran. Good move from him centrally. That's played over to the right channel with Perpion. Cross comes in looking for Todd Miller. Stepping in again was Charlie Cresswell. Oh, showed too much of that to Leonard though, did Jenkins. And now Wilson on the angle. Over to Leonard for two. No, instead it's Moran. Too far away from Spong. Backtracking there was Miller. It was Joseph actually. He's had a quiet second half, Matteo Joseph. Maybe he can find the equaliser here though. This is Dean. Good work from Spong just to get his body between Dean and the ball.
Keep going. Good lad.
And now it's the Albion's turn, just to try and wind down the clock. Good play from McGill and Leonard. Find the space with Hayden Roberts. That's another good turn as well from Andy Moran. Look at him go down the middle here. Miller going to his left now. Still going for Andy Miller. Trying to feed Miller for the second. Good stop from Klaassen. Out to Wilson with the header. The second time of asking an easy claim for Klaassen. Exceptional break though from Andy Moran, just driving down, dissecting the Leeds half. Good weighted ball for Todd Miller. And then Wilson with the follow-up. It's always going to be hard to generate power behind that header with it looping up.
Are you watching?
Oh, and that's loose, so Spong can step in. Wilson over on this near side. There he goes. Moran wanders over in the middle, just out of your picture there. This is back for Furlong. Oh, that's a really good touch. Then skips away from Joseph. Good turn there as well. Almost did enough to roll the challenge of Kenner. Good work from Roberts just to control that down and move away from Max Dean. Gets it back now from Leonard. You can hear the applause for Hayden Roberts there. Made that defending look rather simple. Turns into McGill. 2 lead shirts in the area. And finds a way through both of them into Leonard. But then a bit of a maul there and shrugging from both Leonard and Miller. And it is a yellow for Mark Leonard. So he'll have to be careful as well for the last 9 minutes of the 90.
Keep going, it's brilliant. Lou, shoot it.
So Gary Parsons just with the ball between his legs there, just making sure he's ready before he goes and marks out with his phone where he wants the wall. And again, for the left foot of Lewis Bate, this is a really dangerous area. Try and pick out either corner. McGill just trying to orchestrate his wall. Spong not too sure what's going on. Instead they go short. This is McGurk. Training ground move, trying to find Cresswell. And that's very high of Tom McGill's goal.
Hey, keep going. Get that ball back, boys. Give it your everything. Come on. Give it your all.
So the option is there for the short one. And McGill does square it to turns. And the lead shirts flood forward to try and put the pressure on. They have won it back. This is Bate. It means the majority of them can stay forward. Now Jenkins, who's really putting a shift this afternoon. That's a good dinked ball over to Sutcliffe. That's driven straight into the chest of Roberts though. Telegraphed that one nicely. Now Moran trying to juggle the ball away from trouble. Instead goes back to turns. Takes the aerial over towards Perpion. And there's a slight nudge in the back there on Cam Perpion. I think it's Yelder over there. Perpion probably waiting for that challenge because didn't fancy the header. It was always going out of play for the throw and instead wins the free kick. So the Seagulls done the majority of the hard work here this afternoon. Just 7 minutes left of the 90 to negotiate. Played forward by a fire, but it went straight to Cresswell. And that's going to go straight to Furlong. It was behind Amari Miller. Can the Seagulls put this one to bed? This is Wilson moving away from a few Leeds United shirts. Gets it back there from Leonard. Good back heel that from Moran. Well, it's not a good back heel from Moran. Out for the throw-in. Right idea, though. Spong the aggressor there, trying to get in the face of the Leeds defenders. Helped out by Miller. Good work from Miller. Just was a bit too industrious though on bait. Leeds United free kick. Well, it hasn't been quite as silky and as smooth from the Seagulls as we've seen in recent times. Not 5 goals yet, but they won't care if they can hang on here. Low ball in.
Okay, let's go.
And McGill does well to grab that one just on the edge of his 6-yard box. There's another dimension to Brighton, being able just to edge out games, especially at this late stage of the season. They could probably be afforded a game where they just nick the 3 points. It's been a solid effort so far this season, especially at home, with just that one defeat. 2-1 at home to Manchester United that day. But they're always looking to find the back of the net. And this is Ben Wilson trying to double the Seagulls lead. Can he find the left corner? No, he can't. Easy enough stop that for Christopher Claassen.
No! Go on! Yes!
Sutcliffe giving one for Joseph to chase. Cutting across there is Turns. That's neatly done up to Moran. Just trying to flick it out of danger. And there is a hand there. Well, that's a bit lazy from Jenkins, but he too can be afforded that. He's been a real engine of that midfield, Jack Jenkins. Just a slight error there. So Brighton free kick.
Come on, give him the ball. Hurry him up. Let's spot and play. James, keep your heads, boys. Keep your heads. It's good. Well done. Well done. Keep going.
Kennett clear only as far as I think that was Turns moving forward. Just got a clip as he got there first. A rare chance for Brighton to pen in their visitors.
Hey, come on, Andy. Well done. Great work.
James, drop. Come on, go!
Ooh, it looked as though there was an elbow there on Max Dean as well. Not intentional, but just as he clattered into Dean from Jack Spong. Now, Leeds starting to run out of time. And that's a mistake, which means that Leonard can switch one over to Perpion. First time clear from a fire. Now Miller back to goal. First time forward, this time from Jack Spong. And Perpion never going to latch on to the end of that. Sutcliffe surging forward, cleared away by Turns. This is Lewis Bate again. Now Hjelde switches it back to this near side. Good chest control that from Sutcliffe, just being marshalled there by Wilson. Can't do enough to prevent the cross though. Nodded away by a fire. Still there is Jenkins. Sliding challenge comes in from Spong. This is McGurk with the try and it strikes the crossbar. Furlong tries to complete the clearance. Sutcliffe is still there. Instead it falls now to Kenner. He clips on towards the back post. McGurk just shielding the sun. Chance is still there for Leeds, but Turns does just about enough there. And that was a real fright for Andrew Crofts and Shannon Ruth. Gets the shot away, McGurk. McGill was beaten, but not the crossbar. Still Brighton 1, Leeds 0. And for the final 90 seconds or so, we're going to see a bit more of Benicio Baker Boati. He's made to wait by Todd Miller, who trots off.
Keep going, Trezzy. Come on, Trezzy.
It's his second PL2 appearance, on loan from Porto until the end of the season Benicio Baker-Boati. That's a good layoff there from Wilson. Here he is with his first touch. Baker-Boati with the hit. Just over the top left corner. There's no chance Klaassen would have got there had it been a few inches to the right. Well, that's what he's capable of. The fleet-footed Benicio Baker-Boati. Oh, good defending, wins it straight back from Sutcliffe, making a real impact early on here after his introduction. Does eventually lose out to Jack Jenkins. We're into the last minute of the 90, headed away by turns. Good work that from Moran to find Leonard, then Baker-Boati returns it to Moran. This now is Ben Wilson. This would seal the deal if they can find a second. Perpion forced backwards. Cresswell just rides that challenge as Perpion pokes it out for the goal kick. I think the complaints from Perpion on that far side were for an earlier shove he received. So Timothy Godfrey indicates there'll be a minimum of 5 added minutes here at the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. And that will feel like a lot longer for the Brighton defenders after that 90 minutes in the sunshine. McGurk now rattled the crossbar just a few moments ago. Leaves it for Lewis Bate. Spong was alert to it though. Now Moran just going to try and run it out of trouble. A few tired legs there just to show too much of that to Sutcliffe. Now Jenkins. Brighton back off from McGurk. Just tracking his man there, Jack Spong. Furlong gets there ahead of Miller. But then Kenner can turn away from the Ireland under-21 international. McGurk again. He's looked good since his introduction. Now Hjelde. Brighton just going to those 2 banks of 4, at times a bank of 5 and 4. You can see what it means to Ed Turns as well, barking at his teammates to get out. McGurk again. This is Dean, sorry. Now it's with Miller. Oh, and Dean and Miller just run into each other. I can't believe it. Head in hands moment again for those two. They won't be seeing the funny side though.
Lock in, Jake. Keep going. Let's go. Last 3. Come on, lock in. Mateo, keep going. Right in, Johnny. Right in. Right in.
So at least 3 minutes of the 5 to go.
This is us, boys. This is us. Yes, on. Brilliant. Yes, on.
That goes straight into the neck there of Andy Moran. Leeds play on. Jack Spong just nutmegs his man there. Good play from him. And then chips one across over to Cam Perpion. Eventually juggles the ball down to the deck. He's got to get the better of Hjelde, but instead rather sensibly decides to check back, and Afaya's there to help out. Tries to scoop it back to the Aussie. Out for the throw. And that will be the end of Andy Moran's afternoon, just as he got that ball sent straight into his neck. And so Sami Shushain will negotiate the final few moments here for the Seagulls. Recently had his first call-up to Tunisia under-23 training camp. And they'll need him here just to see out these final few moments. On the front foot again is Sutcliffe. That's too easy past Mark Leonard. Furlong is the next line of defence, but Shushain does well to cut it out and find his fellow substitute, Baker-Boati. Oh, that's a splendid ball. Right direction over to Wilson, but there was always going to be too much on it. Cresswell straight back to Klaassen. Kenner needs to get this right. Both substitutes closing in on him, and they don't make the right clearance, so Brighton throw.
In now, in now. Benny left shoulder. Benny left shoulder. Jack, draw.
Kenner now looking forward. Goes long. Two blue and white stripes underneath it. Neither of them could get it right, so this is Sutcliffe. You can hear the cries once more of get up from the Brighton rearguard. Just into the last few seconds at least now. One more for Dean to chase. The fire does well just to hammer it out for the throw-in. Jack Spong still going defensively. McGurk into bait. We've had the 5 minutes. One for McGill to claim. Dean has gone down just by the penalty spot. And the Leeds bench want Max Dean to get to his feet quickly so that we can carry on, but there won't be enough time. So it was a mature performance in the end against a Leeds side battling for their lives in the PL2 top tier. Just the one goal separates the side just after the half-hour mark, courtesy of Andy Moran, set up by Evan Ferguson. The Seagulls do go up a spot, and it's finished here. Albion under 23s 1, Leeds United 0. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.